Top of the morning to ya. Alright guys, welcome back, welcome. We will talk about the best decks that you can use to reach max level in the Duelist Cup that has started today in. Obviously, you can reach top Duelist Cup level with every of these decks. I have just compiled all the decks that I think are the best in the game at the moment. There are obviously more decks like Blue Eyes or Dark Magician, but I always think if people rank all these decks, it's obviously clear at which point they will land. So an ST deck will get you there faster than an AT deck and a BT deck. A CT deck, this is the big difference. You can reach max level with all of them if you just play enough, but some of the decks will give you a better win rate, and therefore you will be faster at the top rank of the Duelist Cup. This is what you have to keep in mind when choosing a deck for the Duelist Cup. But that's also cool because you can just pick the deck that you like, because you will somehow reach the top if you can play your deck to a certain extent. And also keep in mind that in the Duelist Cup, in the first stage, you will be ranked mostly on your ranked ladder. So if you are lower on the ranked ladder, you will also be matched with I think people that are less strong. Let me know in the comments if that's the case. I think it is. Maybe you guys know, but let's just hop it in. We have Flu Wanderies, which still is one of these decks that can play Dimensional Shifter, which is always strong. It really has gotten some insane hits, so I think this will in the end land at the bottom of the A tier, maybe at the top of the B tier. We have to see. I have to see this in comparison with the other decks we pick here. We have Branded, which has gotten a lot of new tools. Was not a bad deck before, and now it has a very consistent gimmick Puppet Lock with the Albion and also Quem, very, very strong. In comparison to Flounderies, I would say this is above Flounderies, also an 80 deck, and I think this is where it will land in the end. 80 is a good category for Branded. Will probably be better when we get the Branded Chimera stuff in the future, but we will have to see. We have Sprite still running around, and Sprite is still a very good engine. So this is talking pure Sprite or maybe the best combined Sprite version. I think you would be crazy not putting Sprite in A tier and not putting Sprite over Flounderies. In my opinion, I would not put it over Branded Despia, as I think the hits to the pure Sprite core with the frogs and the beavers was really hard. The pure Sprite thing was really strong, but I think Runic Sprite is still a very powerful variant, though now with the Runic Fountain being at 1, this might have to be re-evaluated. We have the Exo-Sister deck, which I always seem to be the only person that really likes this deck. I think it's really strong. It can play Shifter. It has an easy Zeus line. It has like multiple banishes, which banishes are really strong. I think if this goes first and makes its combo, which is basically not hard, this deck is not a bricky deck, then it's really tough to play through this. And also going second, it can do stuff. So I actually like the deck. I would put it at the moment here in the A category. We will rearrange them. I would put this over Flounderies. So I'm basically asking myself, which of these would I would also put this over Sprite, to be honest. Which of these would I pick if I would need to finish in the Duelist Cup fast? And then I would definitely go for Exorcist over these two here. Then we have Heroes, which I think is one of the first decks going into B or maybe C category. It is a nice deck, especially with this new option that you have with the I think it's Trap Card, the Trap Card that enables to destroy a lot of bodies on the field with the Shining Neo Flame Wingman. Is this in Master Duel or is this in the TCG? Where is my head at right now? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Hero players, let me know. But I think this is the combo that you can make the Neos Shining Flame Wingman, and he can destroy up to like 4 cards or some stupid stuff like this. Really, really strong. And if this deck can play through, it can definitely set up some annoying boards with DPE and stuff like that. But all in all, not that amazing, not that many negates. Yeah, you have your Dark Law and stuff. But against Telemans, this was really cool because Dark Law was really punishing the tier deck, but as of right now, I don't know. Also, Runic, I think with one Runic Fountain, it's definitely worse, and I would put it, I guess, maybe over Heroes. You can still play this as a Floodgate deck, and the Floodgates are still there, and they are powerful, and Floodgates just win games on their own. It's just what it is. It's just how Floodgates work. I think they have taken a good direction with the Floodgates, putting most of them at 1 and not just like destroying all of them and getting rid of all of them. Though then again, I'm not sure why we need them in the game, to be honest. I don't know, but yeah, Runic definitely can annoy people, and if they can keep their one fountain, if they not get their one fountain banished by, for example, a Kashira Fenrir, which is definitely their worst nightmare, and Kashira Fenrir is everywhere, then this deck can still be strong and can still be very annoying. You might also have people just scooping against you because they don't want to do it. Then we have Kashira, which is definitely one of the S-tier decks in my opinion. Nothing has happened on the ban list with this, and at the beginning I was like, oh, this is so inconsistent, like in the first days playing it, but this deck is not that inconsistent. I play this at the moment a lot, and this is my best win rate deck at the moment. I think the engine is insanely strong. You have a lot of grind game. You can get your stuff back with the buff, with the preparations. And even if your opponent locks your XYZ summon out, or your extra deck out, or maybe your extra deck is empty, this deck still has these insanely strong bodies that can just go and kill. So Kashira, besides having a wonderful artworks, it's just insanely strong in my opinion. And then we have Labyrinth, which I guess will also end up here in the S tier because it's such a versatile deck. You can run the Skill Drain, which is an auto win card, and you can run basically every trap that you want. But the Ruma Karma Cannon seems to be one of the most used traps right now, which is insanely strong against Kashira and also against a lot of other decks. You can then reset the trap. You don't even need to run a lot of traps. You can just run some of the best traps against the best decks, against the best decks, and then just reset the traps with your lovely. This is also punished by cards like Kashira Fenrir or cards that banish, because you don't want to lose your 2 ladies and your 1 lovely. If your lovely is lost, then the grind game is definitely worse. So I wouldn't put this over Kashira here, but it's always nice, right? People will not, most people will not play like Duster or Cyclones in the main deck, so Labyrinth is always pretty nice. We have Mathmech, which definitely have gotten a hit with the Diameter and the Silent Mining, but not that hard in my opinion, so I would definitely still have them here in the S tier. I would also put them over Labyrinth, to be honest, but not over Kashira in terms of how good and overall win rate percentage like they are, I think at least. Then we have Mikanko, which I hate this deck. I hate this deck so much because I also don't understand it. Every time I play against this deck, I always have to reread the cards. This is so annoying. But this is definitely not a weak deck. This is a strong deck. I would put this over Flonderies, and would I put it over Sprite? I think I would also put it over Sprite, and to be fair, also over Exorcist, I guess. Not over Branded. This is definitely annoying. This makes you go first and then just kills you going second. Though I might be a bit wrong when it comes to consistency here. I'm not playing this myself. I basically had the full core drawn from the selection pack, and I was thinking about it for a moment, but then I got rid of the cards. Then we have Runic Naturia Runic, which obviously has also gotten worse through the one Runic Fountain, though you can obviously still search it with your Hugin, so that's not the point, but if you lose the Fountain, that's the important point. But Runic Naturia, in my opinion, I would put it somewhere here, I think, maybe even over Exorcista. It's definitely a strong deck. It has a nice grind game thanks to the Runic card, but also to the Naturia cards, and sometimes putting the Naturia Beast on the field can just be game over. Then we have Punk, or all these Punk piles with Synchro stuff and Dark Ruler, or no, not Dark Ruler, Dragon Ruler, the Synchro guy that dumps 5. And I think these piles are definitely strong. I would put them somewhere here in the A tier. I guess they are totally fine being somewhere at this position here. I hate Punk. I hate everything that's associated with this deck. It's just not for me. I never really warmed up with the deck and the artwork, and it's just I dislike everything that has to do with Punk. Then we have Purli, which I would place here in the Esther category. I myself have not played a lot of Purli since the hits, because I play this in the TCG, so I always play Purli. So in Master Duel, I definitely want to take a break from that. I would put this on the weaker side, to be honest. I mean, if you go for your Ex-Purli Noir, especially with Delicious Memory, right, then and your opponent has no outs in the deck, which not a lot of opponents have, then in some cases you can just sit on this. Though Underworld Goddess is always something that you have to keep in mind. So in the end, I would guess I would put this over Labyrinth. Will I put this over? I would put this over Labyrinth, I guess, yeah. Then we have the Rescuers of Aces, which will be at some point the best deck here in Master Duel, but it's definitely not there right now. So it's definitely somewhere here in the low B tier and in the really low B tier, I would say. Maybe this is even our first C tier deck, right? Because the combo just does not work, unfortunately. Not all the pieces are there. It's super inconsistent. You can't really get to your Turbulence. This is the problem, and you need your core play, the Turbulence set 4, otherwise this deck is just, yeah, nothing. So this is definitely, I think, if I look through all of it, this is the worst deck on the list. We have Rika, which is always nice, but always hindered by Maxi, obviously. Definitely somewhere here in the A tier. I think the A tier will be the biggest tier. Now that I think about it, you might have to drop some stuff down here to the B tier then. Rika. So Rika... Honestly, I would put this... oh, this is tough. I don't know. I would put this over Flauneries, I guess. The fact... I mean, if this builds it and its endboard, then the game is just over. But has such a hard time with Maxi. It can do nothing under Maxi. That's just... and now comes the deck that, according to Untapped GG, and this was the wrong one, according to Untapped GG, at the moment is the best deck from win rate percentage. Untapped BG, I like you. I like that you track everything, but I'm not quite sure what this is here. Is it really Scareclaw? Is Scareclaw really the best deck from a win rate percentage? I don't think so. Though it is a good deck, and I would put it in the A tier. Maybe above Axis, I think, is a good place where you can put it. The boss monster is really something else. Not be the ability to not be destroyed by anything but link monsters, basically. That can definitely hinder some decks. Besides, for example, Mech, and then you also have the Trapper that can make this thing here indestructible by everything else from the extra deck, I think. So definitely a strong boss monster that's not easy to out, and that's all. It's not hard to make, right? It's not hard to make this boss monster. It's pretty hard to out, and so I think this is quite a strong deck. We have Sky Striker here. Sky Striker, I think a good Sky Striker player will always be very dominating somewhere around here, in my opinion, but we are also talking about the average player taking this deck to this cup, and I think this is the one deck I'm low rolling a bit, but I would put it top on the B tier here. As I already said, a good Sky Striker player would definitely be around here. Yeah, because this is a strong deck, but it's also a tough deck. And I think the mid-range guy will play it somewhere around top of the B tier here. We have Dragon Link, which I think it's definitely one of these S tier decks. And I would also put it over Labyrinth. I think Dragon Link is just strong. It's just there. It just does what it does. And it can never be stopped by 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 hand traps. It can only be stopped by a Drone Lockbird. Which more people are playing right now, so that might be something. Now also has the Bestial D Sparta, which is really strong for Dragon Link. So Dragon Link does its things, and it does it really well. So always a very, very dangerous deck, especially if there are some good light and dark decks running around, so the Bestials can be more effective. We have Sword Soul, SS Sword Soul, which I think I would put somewhere around here, not over Baron Despia. These two decks have always been in a close power range area together, especially when these were the best decks around last December. So yeah, I think this is still nice, has a solid game plan, doesn't really brick a lot, makes a nice end board, can have somewhat of a grind game. It's just solid overall. It's a good deck, so I would put it here. Telements, especially with getting the Trivi Karma back, is definitely not a bad deck. And if you would force me to pick something, I would definitely pick this over. I think I would pick this. Oh, now I have to rearrange this one here, because I would pick this. I guess not over these, though I hate this deck, but I think it might be a bit better. But I would pick this over all of these, I think. Telements is still there. It's still in the game, but it's not that annoying anymore, right? I think they also could have left them a bit more power, and it would still be fine. They have definitely cut them a lot, but yeah. So I would put it here. And Traptrix, the deck that was in the Untapped GG, it was on the top here. It was at the A tier last time I looked. So okay, yeah. So this is obviously the best deck in the game. No kidding. Traptrix, it's a nice deck. It's definitely the weaker of the two trap decks, and I think it's totally fine putting this at somewhere around B tier here. And then we have the newest additions. Let's talk Vanquish Soul first. Vanquish Soul is definitely one of the S tier decks. The question is, which position does it fit in? And this, I think, is a bit tougher. To be honest, even though this was the most winning deck on Untapped GG again, I think this is stronger than Labyrinth, but not than Dragon Link, and I would also put these before them. Though now that I see this, do I want to put Mech here? Don't I think that Dragon Link is better than Mech? Honestly, I think Dragon Link is better than Mech. So let's switch this at least to here, and then we have Puli on place 2. I don't know if I agree with this. I guess we go for this. And then also, let me put it like this. Let me put it like this. This feels correct for me. This looks good. Yeah, for the S tier. And now we have Manadium, which I wish would be an S tier deck, but honestly, it's just not right now. It might be in the future, but right now it's not. It's an A tier deck, and I think it's somewhere around in the lower A tier category because I mean, if this gets its board done, then it's mostly done. The game is over, but then there is Mexi, and it's just a problem for this combo deck. So I think it's somewhere around here in the Rika category. I think it's better than Rika, to be honest. I would also put it over these decks. I would stop somewhere here at tier elements, I think. So yeah, let me know in the comments. You could have always done this, by the way. Let me know in the comments what you think of this list. Where do you think I am totally wrong, or maybe totally right? What would have you rearranged differently? But I think these are the best decks to reach the max level in the Duelist Cup with. And then we have this solid A tier, still good B tier, and then just don't take Rescue Ace. You can reach the max level with it, but it will not be fun at all. This is definitely a tier of its own, and it's very fitting. So the difference between the B and C tier, the B and C tier is huge. The difference between the S and A tier, not that much, and A and B are definitely very close in terms of how strong they are. Let me know what you think of it. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please consider subscribing, hitting the thumbs up and the notification bell, and we will see each other in the next one.